Okay, now I have stitches on my needle. I have 10 stitches that I put on when I was casting on in the other video. Now I'm going to start with the knit stitch. There are many different stitches. This is the basic one, and after you learn the knit stitch, you can go on to purl or other different things that make different kinds of a look in your knitting. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to separate the tail that I put the stitches on with and the ball yarn. I'm going to move the ball yarn to my right side. I have my needle that has my stitches on it in my left hand. Even if you're left-handed, you can work in this fashion. It's not, I've taught a lot of people left-handed how to knit right-handed. Okay, my empty needle is in my right hand. Now, I hold the needle kind of loosely with my thumb. Okay, I have it like my hands like resting on the table. That's a good way to start learning because then you don't have to like pick it up. All right, so what I'm going to do is my stitches are in the center. We don't hold it that way. We kind of bring them in. Ball yarn is here. This is my working yarn. And I'm going to take my blank needle. You can see that I have my first finger right on that stitch. That's going to help me to work as well as it's going to help me to not have that fall off the end and like mess up what I'm working on. So I have like a light grip on this. I'm going to take my needle. These are like all individual loops. If it gets really loose like that, you can snug it back down. I'm going to put my needle into that loop and to the back of the other needle, okay? Having it cross like that is a really good idea because it helps you to maneuver and try to always keep that little cross going. Now I'm going to take my ball yarn and I'm going to wrap it around the back needle and in between the two needles, exactly like we did when we cast it on. I have to hold a little bit of tension on this. I don't want to pull it so tightly that I can't move the needles, but I want to hold it along with the needle. Now I'm going to move the back needle down the back. I'm going to slide it down the back of the front needle, and then as I do that I have the point touching the front one the entire time, and the point is going to slip towards the front, and when it does that it's underneath that first stitch, and then I take my stitch off the end of the needle. That's what we're doing. We're moving them to the right hand needle. So again, I put it up into the back, wrap my ball yarn around and pop it in there, hold on to it. I'm holding close to the stitches too. I'm not holding it way down here. Okay, it's easier to control things when you hold it close. I'm using my finger to also help push that needle through, slide it to the front under the stitch, and off the end. Again, next stitch. So each of these are an individual loop. Up into the back, wrap it around, bring it between. Hold on to it, slide down, I kind of push that through, and then as I push through, you see I kind of grab onto that, hold on that stitch in place, and then when I want it to come off, I let it go and I hold on to the others. Okay, again, up into the back, wrap it around the back needle, bring it through to the front, off the end, up into the back, keep it crossed, wrap it around, bring it through to the front, off the end, up into the back, wrap it around, slide through to the front and off, up into the back, wrap it around, bring it through and off the end. Oh, see, I pulled a little too tight. I almost pulled that off the end, but my finger caught it so they didn't go flying. That can easily happen when you're just learning. I wasn't paying attention. Wrap it around, bring it through. That's actually good that that happened. Go nice and slow in the beginning, work against the table until you get the hang of what you're doing. So this is my last stitch, and now I have all of my stitches on the right hand needle. I have knitted a row. To continue, I would switch hands. I put the needle with the stitches back in my right hand. Again, I don't hold it up. I bring those stitches down towards the center. I bring my working yarn here. There's my tail out of the way. And up and around. I'm going to go a little bit faster. I'm doing exactly the same thing. So for each row, you are doing the same motion. Bring it through and try to think about all of those things that I said as far as keeping them crossed in the back, wrap it around, pull it through, but not super tight, off the end. Use that left finger, first finger, to help you push it through and hold the next one on the needle. And as you get the hang of it and you don't necessarily have to say it anymore, you will get much faster. You don't want your stitches so, if you find that they're really, really tight, then what you're doing is you're pulling this down too tightly. So you want it to be in there snug, but not be able to move. Okay, here's my second row, and I am done. Okay, so there, that is my knit stitch. And I am going to continue that, and I would just make like a long piece. So if I was making a scarf, I would have as many stitches on the needle as I wanted and just continue to go, and it would get longer and longer, okay? All right, so that's your knit stitch, and good luck.